Welcome, thank you for joining me. My name is Bjorn. Today I'm going to be looking at a character I'm labeling as the Beast. The previous character that I just done was the Banshee, so I wanted something the exact opposite, but still similar, and show how different that can be. And also I kind of wanted to play a werewolf, so let's go ahead and jump into it. As we can see here, I decided to go with a fighter of level 4, the Eldritch Knight, and Order of the Lycan Blood Hunter level 16. Very similar to how we ended off with the Banshee build, except very different playstyles. So while the Banshee would have been more elegant and more dexterous and more of a finesse build, this character is way more savage, is about dealing a lot of damage, and is about taking on that literal beast and using it to benefit themselves. Now, because we are multi-classing, there is going to be some requirements. With a fighter, that is going to be a dexterity or a strength of 13. For the Blood Hunter, it is going to be an intelligence of 13. For this character, personally, I'm looking at having a high strength and a high con and a high wisdom to benefit from the Blood Hunter order abilities. I'm looking at possibly having my dexterity and my charisma as being dump stats. I'll probably end up dumping into my charisma being a dump stat because I think that'd be a fun character to play out. Now, as for the race of choice here, I decided that would be the most opposite of a half-elf, and that in my mind is the half-orc. For this, we gain a strength of +2 and a con of +2. We gain a dark vision out to 60 feet. We gain the menacing ability, proficiency and intimidation skill. We gain relentless endurance. This is amazing. And then of course we gain savage attack. So whenever we score a critical hit with a melee weapon, we can reroll one of the weapon's damage die and add it into that damage. A beautiful character to set up for us being that savage beast. I decided that this character would best be fitting a mercenary veteran. I wanted this character to have not just that he lacks charisma or whatever. I want this character to still have some depth to him instead of just being the mindless brute. As well, I want them to be skilled in some manner and to command some sort of respect, to essentially be like an alpha, I guess, to put it. I'm not sure how else to put it without sounding like a douche, but that's the best way I can think of it. And of course, this would contract very well for me against my own Banshee background. The Banshee background I chose there was the Urban Bounty Hunter. So that person would have been a bit more of a soloist, someone that worked on their own. And then this person perhaps worked within a mercenary company. They worked alongside others. Maybe they were a leader or a follower within that group. This backstory, I haven't worked out at all yet, but hey, it's a fun start for me. We gain a couple of skill proficiencies. I decided to go with Persuasion and Survival here, mostly because Persuasion was forced down my throat, but whatever. Also, I really like that maybe this character had to at some point persuade people that, you know, because they are half orc, maybe they take more to that orcish side. So I was thinking that this character could be like a tall, like 7 foot, very orcish features, not similar at all to what, you know, other half orcs might look like. Like for example, with Ford from Critical Role, he takes more towards whatever his human side. I don't think that's been determined yet, but like he's a bit of a smaller looking fella. He doesn't really take too much to too many orcish qualities, but this character would probably take more to that brutish side, I feel. Of course, we also gain this mercenary life feature, pretty beneficial in select cases, but hey, if it ever comes up, very useful. We are going to start off with the fighter. For this, we gain a couple of proficiencies. I decided to go with athletics and perception, mostly because we're going to be a strength-based build, and we're going to have a high wisdom, which is our perception. For our fighting style, I decided to go with defense here. This was because when we go into the Blood Hunter order, we also gain an additional fighting style, but we can't actually, there's no point in choosing the same fighting style multiple times because you can only benefit from the fighting style that you choose once. Of course, we gain our second win at first level. This is only ever going to be a D10 plus 4. That's still a decent chunk of life that we can gain back. Second level, we gain Action Surge. This is amazing. And then at third level, we get to choose our martial archetype. This is where I decided to go with the Eldritch Knight. I felt it was befitting this character that they gain a few additional little things. I felt like it helped fill in what the Order of the Lycan was missing. So this character, while very different from how the Blade Singer works, they still benefit from some of the same abilities that that person has. At fourth level, we gain a new ASI. This is where I decided to go with the Great Weapon Master. So again, I'm going for the exact opposite of what my other character was previously, and in that, they wield a great sword and they fuck shit up. Also, this will benefit us that if we get a critical hit or kill something, we'll be able to have a bonus action to hit again. So very useful for us, and it's just a consistent plus 10 damage overall with that -5 to hit. So this will help us as we transition over into the Order of the Lycan, because as we can tell, we don't gain the extra attack feature quite yet. Now, before we dip off, let's go ahead and look at some spells. Of course, with this, I would recommend maybe Green Flame Blade or Prestidigitation for cantrips. We don't get many cantrips with this, but that's fine. I would recommend Find Familiar, of course, because it's a ritual. And not only that, we can give ourselves advantage with that familiar. I went with Identify because it's a useful spell to have and you can cast it as a ritual. I decided to go with Jump here because this is going to benefit us when we're in our hybrid form later on. You're going to be able to have some insane jump distance. And of course Shield because having +5 to your AC when we want, hell yeah. And with that, we leave the Eldritch Knight Fighter behind, and then we start to delve into our Blood Hunter order. So let's go ahead and get into a little bit of the backstory right now and why I felt that this character would be fit going to Order of the Lycan. With my backstory, they are going to be, perhaps they were born from 2 Lycans. What happens in the D&D universe is when somebody is born by 2 werewolves in this case, they can't have a remove curse spell to remove that from them or something like that. I think it's a greater restoration that takes it away, or it might just be remove curse. I can't remember the details of that, but what I do know is that they can't benefit from that. They can only benefit to have that the lycanthropy removed from them by a wish, a fucking wish. A 9th level spell has to remove it from them. So this character, to me, has been cursed with this their entire life. They can't get rid of it. While they're leveling up as a fighter, maybe they've killed some people by accident that they didn't mean to, and maybe they feel guilty for that. By this point now, they're looking to learn how to control and harness that. They've been looking for information. He turned to, he became the Eldritch Knight thinking that maybe he would be able to invest into learn some magic to deal or cope with it. But now he's realizing he needs to go even further and delve into controlling the beast within himself as opposed to getting rid of it. Of course, with this, we gain the Alchemist's Supplies. We also gain the Hunter's Bane, pretty useful for us because this means we get some Crimson Rites. Again, I would really recommend going with Rite of the Flame. So many things at lower level require fire damage to stay dead. Of course, then I would recommend going with Rite of the Frozen, then Rite of the Roar, and then Rite of the Dead. At 2nd level, we gain a Fighting Style. Again, this is where I decided to go with Great Weapon Fighting because I've already decided that this character is going to have the Great Weapon Master feat. At 2nd level, we also gain the Blood Maledict feature, very useful. Make sure you don't kill yourself with this. And we gain some blood curses. I'll just go over what I would recommend in levels. For the first one, I'd go, because we are going to be more of that, we're not going to have as high of an AC as possible as we would with the Banshee. So I felt like the Curse of Mutual Suffering, having this earlier on, because I feel like this character might be more of that tank within the group, and they could probably benefit from this the most. The second blood curse I'd recommend is Curse of the Eyeless, giving someone disadvantage. The Curse of the Marked, and then Curse of Binding, and then Curse of Spell Sunder. All of these are very beneficial. Take them in whichever order you want, read through them. And this is where now I have discovered on how we can better control our curse and that we can utilize it for ourselves. So at 3rd level, we gain our Heightened Senses. Starting at 3rd level, when we choose an archetype, we begin to adopt the improved abilities of a natural predator. We gain advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on hearing or smell. This is again why I invested into perception early on, because we do gain such an advantage with it later. We also gain the hybrid transformation. This is a long paragraph that I'm not going to read right now. We gain feral might. There's a lot of shit that comes with that. The resilience. This also I should mention. I tried looking up information for this. I'm fairly certain that these only come into effect while we are in our transformation. Really cool ability. We aren't turning fully into a werewolf with this, so instead we are becoming, like, say our whole head will turn into a werewolf and we just grow taller or some shit like that. It's where we're still maintaining some semblance of control over ourselves and we're benefiting from what has cursed us our entire lives. At 4th level, we gain a new ASI. Because we are a half-orc, we do benefit from the Prodigy feat. So I decided to take this here. I decided to invest into history. I felt that this character was perhaps looking more into figuring out the history of lycanthropy and the history of other creatures and people that they've been searching through. So I like that. There's, of course, an arsenal of other things that you could go with if you'd like. Cooks utensils, I wanted a hobby. And then for the language, I decided to go Sylvan. Maybe in this world, lycanthropy originated from the Feywilds. I can't remember the actual lore of where lycanthropy came from within the Dungeons & Dragons universe. And as for the expertise, I decided to go with athletics. The reason why I really like it. I really like the idea that we're so strong, we're extremely athletic. Now at 5th level, we finally gain an extra attack. The 7th level, we gain Stalker's Prowess. Your speed is increased by 10 feet. You also can add 10 feet to your long jump distance and 3 feet to your high jump distance. In addition, in your hybrid form, you gain the improved predatory strikes features. So the improved predatory strikes is essentially that when you have an unarmored strike, we are going to be able to count that as magical damage to overcome that. At 8th level, we get a new ASI improvement. I decided to go with the Orcish Fury. We get to increase our strength or con by 1. Extremely beneficial for this class. Also, we get the ability to reroll one of the weapon's damage dice, and we can add that to an additional time. We can do this once between a short rest or long rest. Also, immediately after we use our Relentless Endurance trait, we can use a reaction to make one weapon attack. So I really like this. You're not going to go down, you're going to do more damage overall. Like, it's pretty useful. And it also fits into us adopting more of that bestial side of us. At 9th level, again, Grim Psychometry. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right still. Yeah, essentially we can meditate on an object for 10 minutes and discern some information from it that otherwise wouldn't have been able to have been gained by some other means. At 10th level, we gain Dark Velocity. Upon reaching 10th level, we like the dark a lot more. Our dark vision goes out an additional 30 feet, and while in the darkness, we gain 10 additional feet of movement. Very, very useful. At 11th level, we gain Advanced Transformation. Starting at 11th, we learn to unleash and control more of the bestial form within us. So this adds on to our hybrid form. We gain the regeneration. At the start of each of our turns, we can regenerate hit points equal to 1 plus our Constitution modifier. This is why I say have a high con for this build. So with us, it's going to be a 1 plus 5, so it'll be 6. If you have no more than half your hit points left, you don't gain this benefit if you have 0 hit points. So this character, once we reach 15th level with this, we become very tanky and very survivable. I really like this idea of a tank build. And also, we gain Beastly Precision. You gain a bonus to melee attack rolls made with your unarmed strikes equal to half your proficiency bonus, rounded down. At 12th level, we get a new ASI. I decided to go with Tough here, just a flat increase to our health. We're performing more in that tank role, more in that damage dealer, take hits kind of dealer. I felt appropriate to me. 14th level, we gain Hardened Soul. We become immune to Frighten, and we have advantage on effects of being charmed. So pretty useful for us. At 15th level, we gain Iron Volition. We've honed our willpower to better resist the violent urges of our lycanthropy curse, again feeding into that storyline. Also, with this, there's a feature in which if you take damage while in a lycan form, you could kill someone on your group by accident or someone random. Whatever. Yeah, this just makes it so that you have advantage on it. So I really like this feature that we've progressed up now to the point of which we can finally control ourselves better. And then at 20th level, and for a final feat, I decided to go with a mobile feat. I felt like this character needed to be able to move around a lot. It felt only appropriate that they'll eventually, in darkness, they'll have 60 feet of movement. Outside of darkness, they'll have 50 feet of movement. So pretty impressive amount of speed that they can move. Get up close, deal whatever damage they need to. I love this. I love this idea of the character. Like, I have a really hard time between liking the Banshee build or the Beast build, because they have both such a unique flavor to what you can do with such minimal multi-classing, or even just like with the Blood Hunter orders. The Blood Hunter is a beautiful class. So yeah, as we can see, the stats are pretty decent. I still like having that low charisma. Of course, I like the fact that this character isn't necessarily as skilled as our Banshee character. We rely upon that group mentality of we need someone else to be able to do Arcana and have animal handling and possibly an acrobatics or whatever. So this character with that mercenary company background, we're a bit more of a team player. Again, with being a werewolf, we're a pack. There's an aspect of like wolves and pact and all that shit there. So you can really play that up. Of course, with this character too, I'd really recommend wearing heavy armor since we can. Your heavy armor still stays on you while you transform, which is amazing and incredibly scary. Like, could you picture like an already terrifying 7-foot half orc and then all of a sudden transform into a 9-foot hybrid werewolf? That's terrifying. Again, we have that 50 feet of movement where we're able to just catch up to our prey. Also in the darkness, that will become 60. And as for equipment, I of course get plate plus 3 and maybe a glaive or a great sword. Both of these benefit from Great Weapon Master. I personally like the great sword idea because I want to be up close and personal, but glaive of course is extremely beneficial. And as we can see here, an insane amount of health. a beautiful amount of health. Of course, this has been rolled for me. Best of luck on your rolls for your stats and your health and all that jazz. Pretty simple character with a pretty unique backstory and a character progression that can be laid out that the DM can, I feel, easily accommodate. And of course, with your backstory and writing them out, make sure you talk with your DM and get them involved and see what can be worked out. This could be a really, really fun character to play out, and I hope you were inspired by this and can take something away for it for yourself. And as always, thank you for watching, and have a lovely day. Consider subscribing, liking, commenting. But yeah, thank you again for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.